Alright, so first I want to start by saying Kala Lal Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of James Great Stone, and salutation to you all came out there, pushing this truth in sincerity, hopeful elect. Shalom, this is Brother Kanan from James Jamaica with another lesson. And in this lesson, I want to go into digital currency, you know what I mean, and where the world is heading. So, I know we've been speaking on this topic for quite some time because this is essential to the system that the world is basically trying to bring in with their Vision 2030 and the Agenda 21 structure. And we've been saying these things out there because it's of great concern for those for the population overall, because this will affect every individual. You know what I mean? We've been showing you that the world is going cashless and giving you examples of these things, but persons are just busy going about their busy life, and I mean, not trying to look into the future, not being prudent, not being wise about their whatever is happening around them, just accepting life as it is, just taking it day by day. Now, I'm not saying that you should not take life day by day, but you should be able to look afar off or look further on to see what's the next step so you can prepare for it. You know what I mean? And you have prophets that are set up for that purpose, to just warn you that, look, this is coming. But do people listen to prophets? No. They despise prophets. You know what I mean? Because prophets, according to them, have bad news. And even though you may not be aware of some of this, when you hear bad news, you tend to turn your mind from it because it is not something you want to hear. Whether or not it's true, you don't try to, to match it and prove if it's that. You just turn your eye from it, or you turn your ear from it. You know what I mean? So he's an artist, you know what I mean, a young breakthrough artist, and he said something, you know what I mean. I know a lot of persons are saying, oh, the artists are bad and rated, but they're not listening. They're not listening. They're hearing the music and churching the melody and, oh, Billa Folkuba and all of that, because that's what he's saying. But they're not listening to what the person is saying. You know what I mean? And the person have a little knowledge based on what he's saying. But again, the hope that he's providing to you again shows you that he's still not where he should be. But at least he's not that dumb like majority of the population. You know what I mean? So let's give you what he's saying. We're gonna pause it just to give you the opportunity to listen. You know what I mean? That's for that's for those who are not aware of what we're speaking, because a lot of brothers listen to videos, so you guys have already been aware of it. So we're just gonna play it for the hopeful leg that is not yet, to waking to reality, or you're still sleeping. We're both here speaking unto you people. So let's go ahead. All right, let's start here. Listen more, talk less, right? So this is a key thing. A person like to speak, but they don't like to listen. And everybody like, no, yeah, me know, man. You're out on the road prophesying, and the person come up and you try to tell them something. Yeah, me know, but yeah, everybody know. You know what I mean? What really do you know? You know what I mean? Yeah, so listen more, talk less. That's a key way of learning. We need to teach persons how to learn and how to research things, you know what I mean? Than to just, just, oh, they just want the answer, them just repeat things because they hear the answer. Better you tell a person how to find out two plus two, or how to do a work out something, than to just give them the answer, because they're gonna always come to you for the answer every time. But when you give them the means and ways how to work things out and how to get the answer, then they can go about their self being no more babies basically, but basically men that can, see for themselves and can verify wrong from right, or verify what the future is has to hold for them. You know what I mean? And that's what prophets are here to do, to educate the elect of the host of Israel about this. Alright, so let's continue. Pause again. He said, Bitcoin is up next, a world that is cashless. We've been speaking on this topic for quite some time, like I've been saying. And persons, the world can't go cashless, it's happening. We're gonna give you an example of, again, You know what I mean? No, they're not gonna just jump from it one time because it takes a transition. Because if they did that, there would be a great collapse. Which that collapse is gonna come eventually, which is gonna force them to just jump eventually. But they're trying to break you into it slowly but surely. This is why they're saying, oh, if you're able to JUTC and you go in smart card or smarter card, and you're trying to get everybody on the digital grid, you need a bank book because majority of the population don't have a bank account, especially Jamaica. You know what I mean? But I think the 70 or somewhere there about, I think even the article that I'm going to bring out says that 70% of the population is without a bank account. You know what I mean? Which means you're not able to just transit to a digital currency or digital platform because you have no, you know, you have to create that platform. So they're trying to get a persons onto that, doing the basics at this point. And the pandemic is also leading into that because it's basically removing persons from doing business face to face but more online. So these are push that are being done and persons that are not aware are missing out. You know what I mean? So I said Bitcoin is next, a world that is cashless. Let's continue. A world that is jobless. No, where money stop make means more jobless. Of course. You know what I mean? When money become digital, you're going to have less work because it's not only just money. The cashier, you're not going to have any need for cashiers because you're not collecting physical money. So the bank is going to be obsolete. The bank is not. There's no need for the banking system. You know what I mean? Because their goal is to go with that one central bank or one bank. You know what I mean? One currency, one bank. You can look up these things. I think it's Vision 2030 or Agenda 21. These are goals that they want to have. One currency, one bank, you know what I mean? One law for all, you know what I mean? One police state, or one police world, basically. They want to have total control of everything. And like I said, persons that are doing cashier work and persons that are doing other jobs, you're gonna lose out because what we're going to Bitcoin, there's a system that works with this digital money, which is called a blockchain. You know what I mean? Where it removes a third party for verification or to basically to check, do these checks or to keep a ledger or keep track of transaction and other information. You know what I mean? These things will be stored on blocks. You know what I mean? Transferring from blocks to blocks. These are how it's going to be done, and you can Google these things and learn about it so you're not a simpleton or a simple just living and just breathing and just eating like all the white man have you. You know what I mean? But again, this person is saying these things, meaning he's what? He's getting aware because he's not fully aware, but he's learning. You know what I mean? And it goes straight up. He was speaking back then and back then more and more and more. Eventually the population is getting it. Not everyone's going to get it, but persons are grasping to what is coming. You know what I mean? So we got to keep pushing out these videos out there and wake up the population, especially the elect, because they're the real ones that we're focusing on, the elect. But let me read the scripture real quick before I get into the article. Alright? Now, just to prove the point that I was mentioning about persons learning to learn how to learn, you know what I mean? This is Acts 17 and verse 11. It says, "These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so." You know what I mean? So they were ready to learn, to hear, but they not only just listened, they went back to prove what was said to them by reading the scripture to see if that was actually in it. You need to do checks, fact checks things. Oh, the leaders come and say something to you. What proof did they bring? Where's the article about that? Where did they get that information from? So you can fact check it to see if what they're saying is factual. You know what I mean? That's all you keep in track of things or whatever when anybody's saying anything to you. Prove it for yourself. Bible says prove all things. Hold fast to that which is good. You know what I mean? So that's how you have to live. Now let me just read the next scripture real quick. This is This is is Ecclesiastes 9 and verse, we're going to start from 14. Alright, so let's read it real quick. It said, there was a little city and few men within it, and there came a great king against it and besieged it and built great bulwarks against it. Now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city. Yet no man remembered that same poor man. Right? Then said I, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised. Now, because we're not, when we're talking about we're talking about GMS, Great Millstone, you know what I mean? Because we're not men coming out in suit and tie, you know what I mean, and with the degrees and the the doctorate and the masters or whatever they want to certify by this society, and to tell you that we have the right to tell the truth, persons tend to look at us like we are no one or nobody, you know what I mean? So they despise what we're saying. But if Pastor Bishop Blair or T.D. Jake or one of these famous pastors came, oh, him got college and him have him degree, now when I get to, you're deceived, you judge based on appearance and based on person that you think that are qualified based on society, but the same society is destroying you. You don't judge that way. You judge knowledge based on if it is fact or fake or fiction. You know what I mean? You judge knowledge based on if it is true. It doesn't matter if a madman tell you that 2 plus 2 is 4. The fact still remains that it is 4. It is the truth. So you should not look at a person's appearance or their background or what credibility you think this person has. If it is factual, then that's all it needs to be. It is factual. You know what I mean? So let's get into some facts and some proof of what we've been saying overall. You know what I mean? So let me just pull up the article. Alright? So again, there's examples out there showing you countries trying to bring in a cashless system step by step. Again, it's not going to happen one time unless there's a great pandemic or a great collapse, economic collapse that forces society to make this type of action, and they're going to bring it. Believe me, because the Bible speaks on that. Now let's look at what we have here. This is El Salvador becomes the first country to allow Bitcoin as legal tender. So the country has approved Bitcoin that works on the blockchain as its first legal tender. You know what I mean? So this is just the beginning of what is to come, or part of the beginning of what is to come, because there's been actions being taken before this, right? So let's continue in the article. It says El Salvador's Congress has reportedly voted to approve Bitcoin as legal tender, making it the first country in the world to do so. Who would have thought that little El Salvador would be this? Again, these small countries are going to become testing ground because they are much smaller to transform. You know what I mean? And they are poor, you know, and trying to balance themselves on the economy. You know what I mean? And you're gonna, if you read the article, that's what exactly what El Salvador is trying to do. You know what I mean? Trying to make money become, you know, easy for, you know, to be coming to their country without tax and all this. You can read the article, but we're gonna get into some of it. All right, let's continue. It says while the country will continue to use the US dollar as its official currency, right? So they're not gonna just jump from it. They're still gonna use the US dollar as its official currency. It sees Bitcoin as a way to increase financial inclusion. About 70% of the population do not currently have access to traditional financial services. What? A digital platform, having not a bank account, you know what I mean, unable to do certain, you know, to transact money without going physical transaction. And that's why, again, Jamaica did this when they were trying to push for the population to, you know, get a bank account, but that would have a lot of persons in because they're not aware. You know what I mean? Let's continue. It says here, the purpose of this law is to regulate Bitcoin as unrestricted legal tender with liberating power, unlimited in any transaction, and to any title that public or private, natural or legal persons required carrying out. The bill text read. So it is there to do what? To with the liberating power, unlimited in any transaction, and to any title that public or private, natural or legal persons required carrying out. Alright, so this is going to be in 90 days according to the article, right? Let's continue. It says tax contributions may be made in Bitcoin. Exchanges in Bitcoin will not be subject to capital gains taxes, and every economic agent must accept Bitcoin when offered. Every economic agent must accept Bitcoin when offered unless they do not have access to the technology needed, the law says. Right? The law stipulates that the government will provide payment infrastructure to ensure that that consumers can always pay with Bitcoin. So this is a system that they're putting in to ensure that anywhere you go, you will be able to spend Bitcoin. Alright? Let's continue. And promote the necessary training and mechanism so that the population can access Bitcoin transaction. The government will guarantee automatic convertibility of Bitcoin to dollars. The government will guarantee automatic convertibility of Bitcoin to dollars through the creation of a trust and bondizal. That's in El Salvador, Banco de Desarrollo or whatever. I'm not going to waste mess it up, but I would mess up. So yeah, let's continue. The law will take effect 90 days, alright? Alright. So it says El Salvador has partnered with digital wallet. Digital wallet, let's get that in your head. El Salvador has partnered with digital wallet company Strike to enhance the country's financial infrastructure and enable Bitcoin transaction. Right? Alright, let's continue. So this is Nayib Bukele, if I'm pronouncing it right, the president of El Salvador, believes that Bitcoin has the potential to transform the way that money is sent across borders. He has reportedly invited Bitcoin miners to set up a state-owned geothermal facility powered by a volcano. Bitcoin let's continue. Right? Head of the BIS Innovation Hub on Friday, June 11, said the move is an interesting experiment, adding that Bitcoin is a speculative asset not suitable as a payment method and should be regulated. Alright? Now, let's share something. Alright, so this is Bitcoin at this present moment with Jamaica, compared to Jamaica, that one Bitcoin is almost $6 million in Jamaica. Now they're gonna have to regulate some standard across the world for it to be balanced, but again they're gonna be a refreshing. They're gonna be what they call what's the term that they've been using? You know what I mean? They're gonna the big reset or the restart. They're gonna restart society. The big reset. They're gonna turn everything start everything from scratch again, building an economy up, building a new world order, basically. You know what I mean? And what is going to eventually be the stamp or the signature of this society is going to be the RFID chip, which is what Revelation 13 and 16 speaks of. You know what I mean? And they're going to bring that crisis to you people. for you to accept this. You know what I mean? They're gonna bring it to you so that you are educated and you are encouraged to follow this path. And eventually, just like you're gonna go to accept RFID chip. Now let's get to that part. You know what I mean? So I hope I'm edifying someone. I hope someone is hearing this information and is learning. Because again, we're here to teach. You know what I mean? We are the prophets of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and we're predominantly to teach the elect of the house of Israel. That's you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Those who have ears to hear, let them hear. You know what I mean? So this is Revelation 13 and verse 16. And it says, and if any man have an ear, let him hear. Right? Sorry, Revelation 16. I'm reading the wrong scripture. Revelation 13 and verse 16. Right? And he said he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. You hear the person telling them, say, everyone basically. So this digital system is for everyone, and eventually if we're going to go digital, what they're going to need? The RFID chip. Alright? So everyone should have this stamp. No, you know what I mean? Let's continue. It says, and that no man might buy. Let's continue. I'm jumping ahead. Let's continue. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And that mark is going into what? Charagma, which means you're going to be, or else, you're going to be a stamp or imprint. It's going to be, and if you go further into it, you know what I mean, which is going to the character, which is going to a PLR stake, showing you how that stamp is going to be injected or inserted in your body, whether it's going to be in your right hand or it's going to be in your hand or in your forehead. You know what I mean? It's good there. That stake they're going to use to insert that chip into you. You know what I mean? And that chip, you go further into it, which is grapho, will contain information about you, which is why you're pushing for a national ID, NIDS. You know what I mean? The needs. All these things ties into one, which is going to lead to the bigger picture, which is what I'm just explaining to you. You know what I mean? The RFID chip, which is the stamp of the system. You know what I mean? This is the blueprint. This is the tracker throughout the entire system that keeps the system going in a secure manner, which that's what they're going to tell you. You know what I mean? So this is no myth. This is no made up story. This is no make believe. This is factual. These are information that are out there, and they've been giving you it in videos, commercials, in articles with their agenda, what they're heading into. You know what I mean? And they're actually bringing it up. You know what I mean? But again, simple-minded persons will not accept it, and eventually you're gonna fall into the pit. You know, because you're gonna follow the blind leaders and fall into the pit. You know what I mean? But we're here to warn you that don't follow these steps. You know what I mean? These are traps to capture you and to bring you into bondage further than what you're in already, and to basically eventually get rid of you. And these are again facts. These are facts. And the Most High will also get rid of you if you are disobedient and accept this path. Now let me just get that for you real quick. Alright? So this is Revelation please. This is 14 and verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his right hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and the presence of the Lamb. Alright? And that's going into what? World War III. You know what I mean? So you're going to be destroyed in this coming World War if you align yourself with these men, with society. You know what I mean? It's either you're with Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, you're against him. And if you take the side and accept that mark that is showing that you are signed over to the devil, to the system, the elite of the system, and you're a willing slave, then your next judgment is death. You know what I mean? So I've gone 25 minutes already into the video, and I think I've explained and I've given you enough information that you can also go there and do some more research for yourself. If you are a man of the Lord and you are called to this, then you will actually do so. And I mean, get yourself educated into it. And I mean, get up to date with what is taking place, and don't be just a living blind rat on the earth. So with that, I want to say, Kala Lal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Again, which is to give all praises to the Heavenly Father in the name of His Son. Alright? Double honors again to the apostles and elders of James Graham Stone, to you came out there. Shalom. Alright?